right, good afternoon to West Shamokin boys varsity basketball head coach Judd McCullough. Coach, thanks for joining us here on High Top Sports Network. Pretty wild times that we're doing our interviews like this. So, I mean, that's going to be my first question for everybody that I talk to. Just tell me the challenges associated with trying to be a head basketball coach during this time.
I was just talking to my wife about that. I'm kind of tired of the whole COVID question for sure. It sucks. It sucks for us all, whether you're a sportscaster or, it's worse for the players. I made it through a golf season with it, and we were really, really blessed and fortunate to make it through. So all I can say is it is challenging, no doubt about it, and your heart goes out to the kids, and we just keep praying every day that we can have a season, and a season that looks even remotely like it would normally look.
Right. Hey, congratulations on that golf season. Just a tremendous showing by your team. So many congrats from us to you guys. That had to be something special.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. And we had a special team coming back just like we do for basketball. A lot of the same pieces even too. So we're excited. And, I'm looking forward to this season as much as I was looking forward to golf for sure.
Yeah. Now, tell me, I know we're all sick of the COVID question. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of asking it, especially the coaches, but just talk to me about that special team returning on the hardwood this year. You guys have a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal couple of talents on that team. Just talk to me about your expectations coming into the season, coming up short, I would assume, of your expectations in the playoffs last year.
Yes.
Just talk to me about the team coming into this season.
Every team is going to have a lot of challenges coming off of basically not having your normal spring and summer lead up and fall lead up to the season, open gyms, missing team camps, missing a lot of open gyms, both in the spring and the summer and in the fall leagues. So, but what we have coming back is a core 6 guys that played a lot in the last couple years, that it's one of the most talented teams I've ever had coming back as a coach. So we're blessed with that. Like where other teams, like in another year where you lost 4 or 5 starters and you have a bunch of kids that you're trying to put pieces together and see how they fit. We have a better idea how these guys fit. It just would be really nice to see them fit together again and get out and play some basketball. But we've seen them play together. They've played up through their entire lives together. And so we have a lot of expectations, I think, both as coaching staff and both and the players as well.
Yeah, I mean, how important is that? How much of an advantage is that these guys have not only played basketball together, but multiple sports together their whole life growing up? I mean, that's one of the benefits of coaching in a small town with multi-sport athletes. Just talk about how that can be an advantage for you guys.
Yeah, it's no doubt an advantage. It's one of the silver liners coming out of this whole COVID situation is that, on another season coming in, we wouldn't be blessed with that. Even in a small school, we not only these kids played multiple sports together, but especially in this sport, basketball, we bring back, Trevor, Bo, Justin. This is their 3rd year starting basketball,
right,
on the varsity level. Eric's going to be a 2nd year. Jack and Ezek both basically played in a sense starter minutes and have played for 2 seasons as a role as a rotational player. So. And these kids play in multiple sports together all the way up through Little League and youth football and youth basketball. And so, yeah, I think those programs like ours that are able to bring back a really experienced group that have played together a lot in multiple sports are hopefully going to hit the ground running a lot better and a lot smoother than you would if you didn't have that scenario.
Yeah, talk to me about the Spolik Brothers a little bit. I looked at the stats. Obviously, I wasn't here last season, but I covered you guys a couple of years ago, and you're getting 27 a game out of those 2 guys. Talk about your expectations for them. I would assume you and your coaching staff want them to produce even more offensively.
Yeah, if you look at the trajectories of the Carson DeWitts of the world and just your regular strong varsity player, every year is a building block year. You can see the numbers build. So when you look at that 27 points per game and I believe about 12 rebounds a game combined, out of those 2, you only anticipate that being higher this year with one more year experience and getting bigger and stronger. And they both put a lot of time in the weight room. I think that both Trevor and Justin will show that when they hit the floor if we get a chance to do that. So yeah. I think that'll be something that sportscasters, opposing teams, and coaches will go, wow, these guys are 1 year stronger in a lot of different ways, and that should really help us.
How interesting is that, having two brothers on the same team? Do they push each other? What is their relationship like? Is somebody more in charge? Is somebody more, deferring? Who's kind of leading the show there?
I think Justin, as the oldest, it's fair to say he would be the alpha. But Trevor is a great leader too. And really, what's wild is we have 3 sets of brothers that really could play varsity rotational minutes this year. So it's a strange situation. It's a fun situation. It definitely creates some interesting dynamics at practice and in the locker room. But it really helps us, I think, in a lot of ways, because there's a trust factor there. And these kids have played together, not only, in youth sports, but that, they live together and know each other and trust each other. And so that really benefits us. Really, not only are those 2 brothers, but, we have these guys are great friends, and I think that bond really shows through in the rotation that we can put together this year.
Yeah, do you ever have to keep them away from each other? Because I know between me and my brother, some of those one-on-ones and some of those backyard football games, they got a little out of control, and you don't want to get anybody hurt doing that stuff.
Yeah, I think if you'd come to our practices and you would see, I have to be careful at times how often I partner the brothers up. And so that's pretty common. But yeah, I mean, it's a healthy competitiveness, but there's times where we have to break it up for sure.
Now, you mentioned the core, 3 returning 3-year starters. Kind of break down your starting lineup for me. Maybe some position battles that are wide open, but guys that are also established at this point.
Really, we have 6 kids that I think are starters. Trevor, Justin, Bo, Eric, Jack, and Ezek. All 6 of those kids, or let's just say the kid that's not our starter, assuming everybody's healthy, would be one of the stronger players on a lot of other teams in the local area. So we're really blessed. And I don't know, until we hit the ground and actually start to practice, it's going to be difficult to see, I think, who is going to be the first 5 starters and how does that 6th one, and there is definitely a drop off a little bit after 6 in experience, and strengthen that kind of stuff. How are they going to respond to being the 6th man when they know, as well as I do, that they could be a starter in so many other places? Will they take one for the team and give us that boost off the bench? How will that play out? And I think that'll show a lot early on the makeup of our character of our team.
Now, would you consider, as a head coach, just kind of rotating the starts just to keep everybody happy?
I think that seasons often have a way of working stuff out, and that's before COVID. So I've entertained that idea. That's something I might talk over with the 2 or 3 kids that might impact, and see what their thought process is. I'm definitely one to listen to my leaders, and all the kids involved here would be definitely leaders of our team. So right. That's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, it is your job as a coach to make key decisions like that. So it'll rest on me and making sure I can sell them on. And it's not going to be a tough salesman job. We're going to play all 6 of them like they're starters. So, whoever that 6th person is coming off is going to play a tremendously important role. That's not going to be a hard sell. I just hope that they can live with that role, and we'll see. I'm sure it could change.
Now, break down the conference for me a little bit. Where do you think your biggest tests are going to come, and where, obviously you have high expectations. I would assume your expectation is to get to the Heritage Conference Championship game and win it. But where do you think the tests lie as you look at the conference coming in?
I would say on paper, Penn's Manor brings back a lot of talent, a lot of depth, and a tremendous football season, which always, I think, sometimes is something that can carry over. They haven't stopped, as far as I know, practicing. So that's probably the biggest concern for me is that you have one of the stronger upcoming teams and a threat to us winning the Heritage Conference Championship, and they're able to practice where our kids haven't as much. So that'll be a key. How will we play against them? How much of a jump will they get on us? They're not the only ones, but they're the only ones right now that are practicing. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of parity. Salzburg brings back, as they always do, a strong tradition and a strong group. I I think Marion Center is going to be somebody that'll surprise teams, especially if Coach Ralph can get them going in the right direction. I think they have a lot of pieces to put together a scary team. There's just, Homer's always strong. There's United is probably, I would say, on paper, outside of Austin Penn's Manor, I would think United has the strongest core coming back. It just, depends on quarantines and all kinds of things, how this season plays out. It's really unpredictable.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something, as you said, unpredictable, and you really can't prepare for it because you don't know what's going to happen with your team, with somebody else's team. And that kind of brings me to my next question. What have you and your coaching staff been doing since you can't practice? How are you helping these guys, communicating the plays? Are they able to work on their own? I mean, I'm sure you could do driveway work, but not with the 5 inches of snow we got today. But,
right.
How are you guys staying sharp during this time?
We've had a couple meetings to communicate what's going on, what our expectations are when we do hit the ground running, hopefully on this Monday, December 7th. There are some kids that have been able to find ways to get in a gym that has, I think, hopefully helped, and we'll see on Monday, them stay in shape and keep their skills harnessed. We have a very committed, hardworking group that are finding time in garages, that are finding time, maybe not when obviously the snow's hitting the driveway, but finding times before the snow to get outside and practice their craft, or to get in the garage and practice, or find a gym. And so I have all the faith in the world that once we hit the ground running on Monday, that these kids, and from a play standpoint, we've never been a super complicated offense. It's and these kids have run this system. That would be my biggest concern, no doubt about it, if we didn't have the experience and the program already kind of put in place for them all the way from junior high up. That would be a concern, no doubt about it, on another given year. But, and I don't take that for granted, but and we're going to definitely make sure we review a lot of things that we think are important. And we'll put in some new wrinkles, no doubt about it, some quick hitters, for our key guys. But our core stuff is in, and we feel confident that the kids will be ready to go when we finally get the chance to go.
Yeah, that's such an advantage, as you said, having them play the same system, know the playbook. Yeah, you'll add in some wrinkles, and that's such an advantage that they already know the system coming in. You don't have to really get up to speed, in terms of what you guys want to do on the court.
Yeah, it no doubt is. And on another year, and I'm sure there are programs out there and coaches that are having to deal with that. And I've thought of that when this COVID thing first hit, that one of the silver liners is that experience we have coming back. Because if it's a couple years ago, we brought back a lot of talent, but we lost like 4 or 5 starters. That Carson DeWitt, Tyler Lightcap year. I mean, we had a lot of talent coming back, but we lost a lot of experience in starters, guys that had played varsity minutes. And so there was a lot of question marks. And now we bring back talent and that experience. It helps insulate us from these crazy times with COVID.
Yeah, I can I can sense your excitement talking about this team. And I mean, the anticipation for you and your coaching staff just to get back to some kind of sense of normalcy, it's got to be driving you crazy right now.
Yeah, I don't know how other coaches are doing it. At times I obsess about, and keep myself busy with the thoughts of putting plays together or practice schedule and not practice, scheduling, drills and stuff like that, how I want everything to build off of each other like a normal year. But then it's tough, because there's so many question marks, and I don't want to drive myself crazy because it's a long season when we get started, so I can come in fresh and excited and not have frustration building up inside, so that I can truly sell to the kids. We're ready, and we're going to take each day and really take advantage of what we have, because frustration is there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It sucks, and it's heartbreaking to think, what the spring sports went through and what possibly could happen here, and you just try to keep yourself upbeat because the kids are going to need you, and that's what I've been trying to do.
Well, it seems like you got a pretty good routine under control. I'm sure there are moments of, like you said, pure frustration. But I want to get back to the core group a little bit, those 6 guys that you believe can be starters. And you said there's kind of a drop-off after number 6. To make a deep playoff run, obviously, you're going to need some depth. Are there guys you're looking at to maybe step up and provide that depth that you're going to need to go deep into the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, right now, first guy that I would think that comes to mind is Sean McCullough. My son is sophomore, backup point guard to Bo, a nice off guard. Has he's a good fit, I think, for that key group. He's not going to take a ton of shots for them, although I'm sure he eventually will be that type of the scorer. I think he facilitates well. I think that he'll understand his role as a team. I think he's a smart kid. So he's someone I look forward to taking that type of a stride. And there's other guys competing for that. Lou Swartz had a strong football season. There's other question marks that we'll see. JV's always that deciding to see how kids are going to play through their roles out. Wyatt Logger would be someone that is about a 6'4", really long kid that is a smart, super cerebral kid that I could see playing a role coming off the bench.
Yeah, you mentioned the possibility of 3 sets of brothers playing, but 2 of those kids are your sons. And just, talk to me about the challenges presented by coaching your sons. I mean, obviously, you can't coddle them, and you also can't be too tough on them. Just talk about those challenges a little bit.
I'd like to have Jack in here with that question. This, not only do I coach them in basketball, obviously golf is way less
Right.
where and the intensity level drops, but it's still a long season. So I'm sure there's times, and I coach teach in the same school. I'm sure there have been times, no doubt about it, that they have been tired of seeing Dad. But I think it creates a great opportunity for us to share something very special. Our love for basketball and to put together a team that we're excited about, and some memories that we'll always have and to share. So it's a blessing. At times it's trying, no doubt about it. There's almost too much in the face. And yes, I have been tough, as any player on our team will attest to, both Jack and Sean. Jack in particular being the oldest. And there's times I have to ask Coach McLean, do I need to tone it down? And there's times that probably tells me the same thing. So it's to try to strike that balance of using him as an example to teach through, as a lot of dads do as a coach, and also give him room to grow and to be his own player and not micromanage his every move.
Yeah, I mean, and you live in the same house. Like, there's just so much going on. The dynamic is so interesting, especially to a sports writer, because my dad didn't coach. He coached me in Little League, but he never coached me in basketball. We didn't share that connection. You know what I mean? And just the dynamic of being in the same house and at the same practice and playing the same sports all the time. Yeah, it's special, but I'm sure when you're in the moment, you just feel kind of overwhelmed by it a little bit. And I would say for the boys too.
Yeah, absolutely. For them, it's a little tougher than it is for me, for sure. It can't be easy being the coach's son in those type of moments, but it also comes with the advantages too. I said, you'll get. I mean, I'll tell you how I feel all the time. There's no, they have heard a lot of coaching from me through the years, so they should be at a higher point, assuming that they've listened to me as much as they possibly could, and it works out well. What's really wild is the other sets of brothers. I see them a lot throughout not only just in school, but they hang out together. Trevor will be over to the house like he's almost like an extra son at times. Justin will pick Jack up and go somewhere. Eric, I've seen, all through golf season. Ezek is always around. Bo. I mean, they have a special bond. It's a close-knit group, and I'm just really blessed and fortunate to be a coach and a dad along the ride.
Excellent. Well, Coach, this is a High Top Sports Network interview. It's not a newspaper interview, so we like to have some fun. I got some rapid fire questions for you here. Let me grab my clipboard.
Okay.
College or pro basketball players of all time?
Okay, say that one again. I lost it.
I said favorite college or pro basketball players of all time.
Oh, favorite college or pro, like the number one?
Yeah, or favorite, personal favorite.
Dr. J was my number one growing up.
Oh.
And I lean towards LeBron here recent time. So those are two that jump out to me right away.
I like to hear that LeBron comment.
I've lost that microphone again. Darn it. I lost the microphone again. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry too. I mean, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, excellent. All right, question number 2. What jersey number did you wear during your playing days and why?
23, because Coach Nagy gave it to me. 22 and 23. I don't think we had as much of a choice back then as the kids do today. And we if I remember right, we wore one for a home game and one for an away game. And so I was 22 and 23. Now, baseball, I was 7. I did choose that one. I enjoyed 7. Kevin Johnson, who I liked as well as a point guard for the Suns, was someone that I liked his number. I always liked the number 7.
It wasn't for Mickey Mantle on the baseball field?
Nope, KJ. The basketball.
Okay, so what is a hobby or an activity that you're involved in that people might be surprised to find out about?
Oh, geez. I mean, I'm pretty overwhelmingly into sports. A hobby. I like to play a lot of board games. I don't know if that would be super surprising. Golf is obviously not a shocker.
Right.
So, I guess majorly into fantasy football would be something, is you assume as a basketball, baseball, golf guy that, football might not be, but I'm pretty avid into fantasy football. So that might be something.
How annoying is this COVID with fantasy? Oh my goodness.
It's been as annoying as coming up for the basketball season here with trying to figure out who's playing and who's not and following your favorite team, which I'm a huge Steeler fan. And that's definitely been trying.
Yeah, I'm going to need about 12 points out of Deontay Johnson this week. So
is that right?
Yeah, I just hope the game goes off and he plays well.
Well, he's been playing well. He was targeted about 13, 14 times last week, I think. So if that track record continues, I think Ben likes him right now.
Okay, Coach, finally, what is the best part about being a coach at West Shamokin?
Love the kids. No doubt about it. Just not only just this group of kids, but everyone that I've coached, they're good kids. I mean, they work hard. For kids, they're pretty darn humble, and not, it's just a good group of kids that I love to be around that makes me feel young, and I appreciate being around them.
Well, thanks to you, Coach Judd McCullough, head coach of the West Shamokin boys varsity basketball team, for joining me, Josh Shreckengost, here on High Top Sports Network. Coach, I really hope to see you on the hardwood soon.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you guys too. Thanks, Josh, Joe, Jake. I appreciate all you guys do. You're doing an awesome job.
Hey, much appreciated, Coach. We'll see you soon.
All right. Yep. Take care.
Take care.